how would you suggest covering your ass from ensuring that everything's being done the way it needs to be done? Like that to me, this is where cell phone photos obviously are more than enough, right? Where you're just using a phone to document what's being done. How would you suggest builders going and doing that? Like, at what point during the job? What should the sequencing be like? Is there anything that they should look out for when you're looking at photographing in a job just from a protection standpoint?
Yeah, so the most important thing is pre-construction. So get the pre-existing conditions and like everything. So let's say that you're, I don't know, redoing a dining room. Maybe it's just like a one little job. But you want to take stuff of like, where are you going on site? Are you going to have to bring your trucks into the backyard? Are you going to be putting your trucks on their driveway? So like take full pictures. Just, it doesn't have to be like every 5 feet or something, but you want to be able to, when the customer comes back and says, hey, there's a new crack in my driveway, that's because your truck was 10,000 pounds. It's like, that crack was there before. So yeah. That's, and it's one of those like, damn it, I wish that I did that. And you can, I would say photos, but you could also take a quick video too. So you're taking the snapshots and just take the pre-existing conditions, and also take a video. And that's where, if you hold your phone like this versus vertical is only good really for like Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, TikTok, whatever. This is good for everything. And this is
horizontal or landscape.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Some people are only going to be listening. So you're holding your phone sideways. So you have that like normal TV kind of landscape image. That's so important. And then also not pinch zooming, like you pinch your screen and you zoom in, that degrades the photo. Cause what you're doing is it's just a digital zoom. So you're just taking what your image is and you're basically cropping it, and you want the highest res that you can get. So you just want to kind of like just move closer. So you zoom with your feet, as we say.
Sure.
But it's small stuff like that really helps. So the pre-construction and then post, at the very least, the post-construction.
Yeah, pre-construction for me is huge, especially renovating. I literally the project that we're on, it was a flip, and the driveway is a mess. The existing driveway, cracks everywhere. There's no sort of reinforcement in there. So day one, it was taking videos of the driveway. And it's a client I've worked for 15 years. It's the second house that I've worked on for her, but regardless of the relationship, I just want to protect myself. And you think of it's the same type of thing when you go to get a rental car, right? And they walk you around the rental car, they mark what's wrong with it, they take photos, they timestamp it, whatever needs to be done just to protect yourself. So when you bring that back, if there's an issue, you're protected. So yeah, pre-construction for me is huge. Post-construction also very important. I think communication plays a huge fact in that as well. But it's hard to argue with a photograph, and I know many times that I've relied back on photographs during a job, when I'm closing a job in, during roughs. I always, like, before we close the walls up, I'm always documenting everything that's in the walls, so that when we get to finished stage, when we're hanging cabinets, before we hang a photo, whatever it is, I know exactly what's in those walls. I'll even bring tape measures out and just get reference points for what's in those walls, just that I could document everything. And again, this is mostly for my own purposes. These aren't photos that are going to live on the internet. They're not going on my website. It's just to protect myself in some way, shape, or form. These are not pretty photos that I'm looking to market my work. But there is an opportunity, even with just an iPhone. I mean, I made much of my marketing through Instagram with just whatever iPhone I had at that point prior to using any sort of regular camera. And there's a lot of times that still everything that I'm posting these days is still just an iPhone. Like, do you feel that an iPhone is enough for what most people need to document their projects?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say yes. with an asterisk of it depends, of course. So it's like depending on what you want this for. So if it's just a CYA, then yeah, you an iPhone or an Android or whatever with modern day ones, they're great. Don't use the pinch zoom. Like I said, that's one of the worst things. To that point too, like if you have a 1x, which is like your base, and you want to zoom in, if you have like a 2x or 5x or something, that's an optical zoom, so that's fine. So if you're trying to get like an image of the roof or you know, like the eaves or something, and you're like, well, I obviously can't zoom up there with my feet, so just use that. But the phone in general, yeah, 100%. If it's supposed to be like a big portfolio piece, that I would say maybe try to get a better camera. But then again, it's not all about the camera. It's about so many other things like lighting. Lighting is number one. You know, sensor size is another thing, but we don't have to get into that. It's fine on the phone if you have the good lighting.
So I've shot a handful of stuff that's been professionally lit, and it's insane the amount of time that it takes to do that. Or, I mean, I'm used to just shooting stuff on the fly a lot of times. The mindset is, right, people are looking at this on their phone. They're not watching it on TV. They're not even looking at it on a computer. They're watching it on a 2.5 by 6 inch screen. So how well does it need to be lit? But then I've been on jobs that are intended to be commercials, and the amount of effort that goes, it's like, here's the shot. Here's what we're going to talk about. We have everything set up, and they're like, all right, now we need 45 minutes to light it. And they're just moving lights, bringing in different diffusers, covering stuff up, getting rid of shadows. It's insane the amount of time and effort that goes into lighting a space well.
Yeah, and it can get crazy. It can get nuts. But at the end of the day, it's really we're masters of light. That's what photography is just studying light, and then what box do you use to capture that light, and how do you kind of like frame the light or whatever.
Are there like, for people who are looking to, hey, I don't have a marketing budget.
Yeah.
I want to get some nice photos just for my Instagram or my social feed, or I want to take some quick video on my phone. Before I do anything more to that, like from a lighting perspective, what are some things that somebody could look out for? Either, hey, like, use natural light, don't use natural light, this time of day is going to be best for you. Like, what are just some basic things, or are there resources out there that people could look into just to get the best out of what they're working with?
Yeah, so two of the number one things, natural light is king. And if you have it, depending on the look that you're going for, if you have like curtains, the sheer, so it kind of like diffuses the light a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's a really good way to start. And that way you don't have the hard light coming in. And you know, golden hour is always good. Golden hour is, you know, as it's sunsetting and you get those like really nice yellows, but it really depends on what your, what mood you're going for. But natural light, number one. And then if you don't have natural light, I would try to have windows open as much as you can, just so you can have as much extra light in there. But if you're using work lights are kind of terrible in a lot of ways, because like they'll flicker, but depending on what if you're not doing a lot of video, then it's not really going to be a big deal, hopefully. Again, the asterisks.
I think a lot of the work lights are also very white, which depending on what you're shooting may, like if it's not a white subject or a gray, those like bluish white lights can make other colors look absolutely horrible.
Yeah, it makes it look sick. But that's where you could, if you're like really on a budget and you're like, hey man, I have nothing for, like, I can't get any other lights or whatever, which I totally get. No construction worker wants to run around with, you know, aperture light in the back of their car. But if you use that light and you reflect it, instead of like having it shine on the couch, let's say, if you have it bounced up to the ceiling or against the wall, if you have like a blue wall, then it's going to add a little bit more of a blue cast or like a yellow, right? So it's not going to be as harsh of a sickly white.
Yeah, I feel like something changed with the iPhones. Definitely Instagram, where their color hues maybe a couple of years ago changed. Like I feel that they always used to look better when you would bring in cooler temperatures, and now it's different. I feel like it's a lot warmer, and something changed. But I've noticed that it takes a little bit more effort to get those photos now to be the right color temperature for me. What I've lucked out with on this project that I'm working now, this porch project, that like golden hour that you're talking about, I feel like it normally, the project doesn't look great from the warmer tones we have with the wood, with the white and everything else outside. But when it, right before it gets dark, if I take photos, I'm like, yo, these look super dope. Like,
Yeah.
but there's just a very small window
Minutes.
from when, like, yeah, like it's right when I'm cleaning up. So like if I don't clean up before then, it just looks like a messy job site. But like if I can clean up before that time, then I have like 10 minutes where I can go around and shoot the job, and it looks so nice. But it's insane because the rest of the day I'll take a photo of the same thing, and I'm not editing anything. It's pretty much like maybe I'll adjust some in Instagram, but a lot of them are just going right to my stories. But like when the light is right, I don't need to do anything to them, and they look great.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. And I always want to say to people, like, don't stress on the light, and really don't stress on the light. I mean, get the image. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
But the right lighting is just so, oh man, it makes it sing.